Hi everyone, welcome to today's reading. So today's reading is about messages that are meant to find you. Let's find out what it is that you need to know at this point in your life, what you need to know to move forward in your life. And we have 4 piles to choose from here today. From left to right, we have pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've attached a GIF, a looping image to each pile. So if you would like to choose visually, I think it would be good for you to let your eyes lose focus for a moment and let your eyes drift to the image that is calling out to you. Timestamps will be in the description box below, and this is a timeless reading, so anytime you chance upon this video, this message will be there for you. This message is meant to find you at that point in time. And I'll keep the GIFs looping on screen for about a minute so that you have time to choose, have time to meditate, and see you in a minute. Hi Pile 1, let's look at what you have. First up, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, followed by the 7 of Coins, and the Page of Coins. Here we have the Destroyer card, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for a new life. Or intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. We have here the Flow card, a very tranquil card. Here we have the Snow Moon, Purity, again very tranquil. Next we have Inner Earth, you'll survive this, new solutions and beginnings. And here we have the 3 of Clubs, the Grave. Okay, so pile 1, first things first, I think for some of you this might be related to your career, finances, ambitions, and so on. Because of the 7 of Coins and the Page of Coins, the Coins or Pentacles in Tarot are about, very obviously about finances, but also about stability, and about how we ground ourselves in this world. It's about the 3D, about how we interact with our surroundings, how we interact with our environment, the relationship between ourselves and the world around us. And for some of you, I sense that there might be a very drastic change coming in your life with the Destroyer card and the Wheel of Fortune card. With the Destroyer card, I kind of get this Tower energy, the tower card from Tarot, where everything you know or everything you think you know would be taken away from you. A lightning from above, a destructive force striking down what you've built up to now. And that tower imagery I get from the Destroyer card, and of course, the image of the volcano erupting, and the 7 of Coins card in the upper right corner there gives me a sense that you might be facing something that might upset your efforts. So I think that you might have put in a very long time and arduous effort into trying to build something and you might have reached a roadblock. Your efforts might be destroyed in one way or another. So just to give you an example, you might have been working on starting a business, but you realize that your idea is not feasible anymore for whatever reason, or perhaps you've partnered up with someone else or another company for your business venture, and that person or company did not hold up to their promise. You could not get the supply you wanted, and so on. I'm just giving out examples. This does not necessarily have to happen to you or resonate with you, but basically, if you've been working on a project, you've been working on something, your efforts might be destroyed, basically. Again, this is a general reading, so don't worry if that does not resonate with you. I do see additional messages with this pile. And okay, back to what I was saying, your efforts being destroyed. I also say that because of the Wheel of Fortune card, because I see a shift in fortune coming to you. Of course, this isn't necessarily or terrible, or this isn't necessarily a complete uplift in your fortune either. So what I see from the Wheel of Fortune card is just that there is going to be a shift in energy, a shift in what you're used to. And this shift is inevitable because the Wheel of Fortune card is about inevitable shifts in fortunes in everybody's life. There are ups and downs in everybody's life, and there's just no way to get around it. And for you, you might be facing that change very soon. And with the Rest in Peace card, the Three of Clubs there, the little card there, I see that it's time for you to put something behind. Something needs to go. You're holding on to something that does not serve you. And the thing with the Destroyer card, or even the Tower card in Tarot, as I mentioned just now, what it's destroying is not something that you need. The lightning from above, the volcano eruption, is a blessing in disguise. It's taking away something that no longer serves you. The Tower card in Tarot. Now, I know we don't have the Tower card here, but the Destroyer card reminds me of the Tower card in Tarot. And the Tower card in Tarot is ruled, in the Golden Dawn tradition at least, is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the ruler of Scorpio. So Mars brings about very destructive, very aggressive force. It strikes down its enemies. It's very, or in my opinion, at least, it's a very angry, almost vengeful kind of energy. Whereas Scorpio is a sign of transformation. It's the death of what you do not need. And this process can be hard. However, I do think that this is a process that you would have to go through. However, like I said, shifts in fortunes are inevitable in everybody's life. I do see that this situation for you is of course going to be temporary, but the main concern here, of course, for everyone is how do we get out of this difficult situation? How do we shed what we do not need and move towards what serves us better? So with the Page of Coins, pages in tarot could be messengers, and in this case, I think that might be someone in your life who's coming to give you a message. This person might have a very childlike quality about to them, who might be giving you some advice, helping you to take some time off and giving you a new perspective. The thing with the Page of Coins is that it's one of those cards where it's holding the pentacle in reverence. It's admiring the pentacle, admiring the little things in life. This card also reminds me or tells me that perhaps you should try to connect with your inner child a little bit more. Try to let go of your ambitions a little. Learn to let go and appreciate what you have. Appreciate the little things that give you joy. I know that life might be hard for you in many ways, but this is time for you to focus on the good. You might find something unexpected. You might find a new stroke of inspiration. And of course, the Page of Coins might indicate, Page of Coins with the Wheel of Fortune might indicate that somebody down the road might give you something that you need, might bring you the luck that you need. However, the pentacle, the coins in tarot have a very slow energy, so I do think that this could be something further down the road. I think that now is the time for you to take some time and take stock of your life, take stock of what is important to you. Is the project that you're working on something that is really important to you, but are you doing it for reasons that you think you want or you think you need, but it might be influenced from someone else. So if this is a little vague, let me elaborate on it. So for example, if you're working towards a very high-powered position, a position of management, for instance, you might think that this is something that you want, but it could be because you feel pressured into getting into that position because of what your parents have always told you, or what is conventionally considered to be desirable. So I think that the Seven of Coins is about a period of reflection after a very long and strenuous period of hard work. So this is time for you to take a break. Just take some time and try to work on yourself. Try to reflect on what it is you want in life. I think that this period of time is very crucial, or it's connected to the shifts in fortune that is coming your way. And with the Destroyer card, the Page of Coins, and the Seven of Coins, it kind of makes me think that, after a volcano erupts, your lands will become more fertile and you would have the resources you need to grow what you need. So, and the Page of Coins, Seven of Coins, of course, have a very earthy energy. It's about growing something. It's slow, but it's a process that is needed. It's a process that is essential. The Page of Coins again reminds me of it's like getting a new seed. Finding something new to plant, and you're so excited about it. So maybe it's time for you to find the excitement. There's something new in your life that sparks your interest, that brings out the inner child in you. And okay, so how do we get to this state? Where you could be connected with your inner child, where you're very sure that you know what you want, and have Lady Luck be by your side, be helping you, with the Wheel of Fortune. I think that could be seen from the Snow Moon card, the Purity card, the Flow card, and the Inner Earth card. First of all, with the Inner Earth, like I mentioned just now, you'll survive this, new solutions and beginnings. So I think that you would be able to find the solution that you need, but you might have to go through a period of confusion or a period of setbacks. This could be a learning point for you, a life lesson for you. But you don't have to feel dejected. It's something that everybody has to go through. And with the Flow card, this Flow card, besides the very obvious, going with the flow, just accepting things as they are for now, because something better is coming your way. This is a period of time for you to wait. Not just something better, but something very fortunate, something very exciting might be coming our way, with the Wheel of Fortune card. Now, I don't usually read reversals in tarot, but I do like to take, both the positive and negative meaning of each card where it's applicable. And I think for this Wheel of Fortune card, to me, it's about change. So there might be a period of time, or you might be in a period of time where things are difficult right now, but positive change is coming along. And I see that with the Flow card as well, going with the flow and reaching something that serves you better by accepting things as they are for now and just waiting. Now, this flow card also, it's not about passivity. It's not saying that you shouldn't do anything for now. Okay, so I'm going to show you the write-up that came with the guidebook. I think it has a very beautiful passage in it. So this card is about the meandering river. A meandering river is a waterway that curves, bends, turns, and seems to swing side to side as it flows forward. So this isn't necessarily a very straight path for you. Like with the Wheel of Fortune, there are ups and downs. You might have to take detours. But, enjoy the scenery along the way. This is not a time for you to rush. This is a time for you to almost a time of reflection and think about what you need to put in the past, what you need to destroy, what needs to be put in the ground. And viewed from above, it looks like it looks sinuous and even snake-like. Meandering rivers are dynamic as they wind their way across the valley floors and bring life-giving sediment to new habitats. Life-giving sediments like the Destroyer card. After a volcano eruptions, the eruption lands become fertile. There's a lot about new life as well. A new life, perhaps things further down the road, things might be so completely different for you. I say a new life because of the Page of Coins. The Page of Coins about a very youthful energy, and the coins reminds me of a new seed, planting a new seed, having this new potential in your hands. And moving along, the twisting patterns were also thought to represent the serpent, which was the symbol of healing. Hence, our present-day symbol for doctors is I can't pronounce that. Okay, so this is a period of time for you to heal. So what you do not need will be taken away from you, but that might feel painful at first, but this is a blessing is in disguise. It's a period for you to heal from being so absorbed, having your life taken away. Having the life sucked out of you by what do not serves you, by what is not right for you. So I do think for some of you, this might be about a relationship as well. This isn't necessarily romantic because, we don't have the cups, the suit of cups here for one. But with the Seven of Coins, I think it could also be about, you feeling like you've put in a lot of effort, tremendous effort into a relationship and not getting what you need from the other person. And this might be time for you to take time off from the other person to work on yourself, as we see in the Page of Coins, to connect with your surroundings, perhaps to even, connect with nature, get away from people for a little while. And back to the flow card. I feel like I've taken a really long detour to get to my point. Okay, so there are times to hold on tight to the shore, and there are times to enter the flow. Like I've mentioned, go with the flow. Notice where life is going and move in that direction. Watch for the signs and follow them. Don't resist. This is also a time to release the old limiting for patterns, to forgive. Okay, this might be a message for some of you to forgive and let go of the need to be right about your beliefs. So let go of what you've always thought to be right and try to welcome something new. Welcome a new perspective. So this isn't necessarily a time for you to just rest and do nothing. This isn't a time for you to play even. Although, like I mentioned, there's an element of reconnecting with your inner child. But I think during this period of time, it's very important for you to reflect. Perhaps take some time to meditate in nature or something. Reflect what you need, what you do not need, what serves you and what do not serve you. And of course, how do we know that what serves us? How do we take the necessary actions? but not fall back into our old patterns. I think the Purity card tells us that the Purity card, that the Snow Moon, is about taking the simplest course of actions. Taking the simplest steps, not overthinking things. Perhaps for you, this could be just about, reading it with the Page of Coins. This could be just about trying to find out what makes you happy, what brings you the little joy in life, and doing it. Or it could be just, focus on working on your mental health for now, or just not worrying too much about your ambitions, your goals, about anything like big picture for now, and just focus on taking things one small step at a time. Focus on what you need each day. Stay in the moment. Stay grounded. The Purity card is about, a land of just pure snow, just a sea of white stretching as far as your eyes can see. This could be alarming, or this could be a little bit scary for some of you because you don't see anyone else, you don't see anything new in sight. But now is the time for you to just enjoy that purity, that seeming nothingness, and walk on slowly before you reach something new. And that is all I have for group number 1. I hope this resonated with you, and please consider liking and subscribing if you like this reading, and leaving a comment down below and tell me if it resonated with you, or which parts resonated and which parts did not. Thank you, and I really hope to see you soon. Goodbye. Hi group 2, let's look at your cards. So first up, we have the 8 of Coins. We have the Sun. Justice. We have here the Beggar card, so confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem, followed by dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. Here we have Focus. Here we have Reigning Gibbous 3, Balance. Here's the Perspective card. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. And finally, the 8 of Diamonds. The House of Good Fortune. Okay, so I think the message is very clear with this pile. First of all, find balance and recalibrate your focus. I think with the Balance card and the 8 of Coins, the 8 of Pentacles, some of you might be or might have been taking on too many responsibilities, having too much on your plate, trying to do too many things at once. I feel like you are working so hard to be good at so many things at once. The 8 of Coins is about apprenticeship, it's about working very hard towards something. Now with the 8 of Coins, I also always get the sense that the person in the 8 of Coins, they are not dreading what they're doing, they are not they do love what they're doing, but I think in your case you have so much passion for so many things, but you are wearing yourself out, you are working yourself to the bone, and this might be detrimental for you in the long run. You might think that all these things might be everything might be very important to you right now, but they might be detrimental for you in the long run. I say that because of the Sun card as well. The Sun card is of course about energy, it's about renewal, it's about being connected with your inner child and feeling very optimistic. I think for you might be optimistic right now that you're able to do everything, but in the long run there's a risk of you losing that optimism if you don't find balance and focus on that one thing. Now this particular focus card is very clear about focusing on one thing that you want to perfect. I I think the beggar card is a little bit of a warning. So looking at the shadow attributes of the beggar card, we have dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. So you might feel very energized now, have a lot of energy to plunge into so many different tasks, so many different projects, to put your A game into every aspect of your life. But at some point it might wear you out, and you might lose that energy, lose that drive, and it might cause you to be overly dependent on other people. You might be at a point where you need a lot of help from other people. So I think that this could be a word of caution for some of you. The Justice card is of course about balance as well. It's about balance in so many ways, in so many forms. And first of all, it could be a balance between your heart and your mind. Now, it's not very obvious in this deck. I'm using Tarot the Divine for the Justice card. And it's not necessarily obvious in the traditional Rider-Waite deck as well. But I remember in this particular deck, I see it's in the illustration, it's very clear that it's talking about a balance between the heart and the mind. So for some of you, it might be that you think that you need to do all these different things, or you think that you need to put 100% into this particular thing and work yourself to the bone, but your heart might not be in it. So it might be taking a toll on your mental health, your emotional well-being. So this is a time for you to rein in a little bit and find balance. I'm not saying to stop what you're doing completely, but to find a better way for you to have work-life balance, for instance. For some of you, it might also be trying to juggling between the different aspects of your life, trying to have it all, trying to have a prosperous career, and trying to have a fulfilling dating life, and so on. I think it might be time for you to focus on one particular aspect of your life first. So if you would like to find time to date, perhaps you should let go of other things in your life a little and find time to date. If work is what you're concerned about, then this might be time for you to focus on your work. So like I mentioned, the Eight of Coins is also about apprenticeship, and the Sun is about renewals and finding joy in something. So I think for some of you, you might renew your passion, find your joy, or find a new perspective. If you just focus on one particular thing, you might reach a breakthrough. So for example, a very obvious example would be if you put in more effort in your work, you might get a promotion or something like that. Or if you're somebody who has many hobbies, if you just focus on one, you might find yourself improving in that one particular skill. You might even find a way to monetize it. You might find a way to put it to better use, and so on. So this really is the time for you to just focus on one thing. Ask yourself what lights your fire the most. I do also think that with the beggar card, of course there are light attributes and shadow attributes to every card, and for this beggar card, I think that it might be okay for you to ask for help from other people as well. You don't have to do everything on your own. Of course, I mentioned just now that if you're not careful, you might reach a point where you are overly dependent on other people. But like I said, I think the important thing here is to find balance. It's okay to ask for help when you need it. but it's not okay to be overly dependent on other people. You might be someone who's very prone to extremities, like one or the other. You might be a Scorpio. I think this would be a time for you to learn how to find balance, to learn that things are not always black and white, things are not always so clear cut. If you rely on other people, it doesn't mean you're lazy or incompetent. It just means that you might need help, or that other people are in a better position to give you advice, to give you a new perspective, and it might help you grow as a person. And for the others, or rather for some of you, it might not just be about balancing the heart and the mind, having work-life balance, balancing the proportion of time you put into each aspect of your life. It might also be about balancing your divine feminine and divine masculine. Because in the Rider-Waite deck, the Justice card is the 11th card. It's a combination of the Magician, which is the first card, and the second card, the High Priestess, because if you add up the digits in 11, you get a 2, which is the card of the High Priestess. I think, and the Magician and the High Priestess represents an aspect of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So I think for some of you, this might be time for you to focus on trying to find balance between action and your intuition, especially your intuition. The justice is not just about cold intellect, in my opinion. It's not just about weighing things based on facts, judging things based on facts. It's also about having intuition, having wisdom. So I think that this Justice card for some of you could be about trying to find balance between the need or the drive to create something, to move forward, to conjure up something, and the intuition, and trying to hone your intuition to know which step is right for you, which aspect of your life you should focus on. I feel like you might be trying to do so many things at once. It's almost like a frenzy, but this card is telling you that you should try to listen to your intuition and put your A game into that one particular thing. And I do see that you would feel very almost enlightened when you focus and put in your effort into that one particular thing, because of the Sun card and the Perspective card. The Sun card is, in a way, it's also about perspective. The Sun card comes after the Moon card in tarot. The Moon card is about confusion, so much confusion. It's about in some instances, it's also about losing your way, losing focus, being befuddled. Whereas the Sun card is the emergence from that state of confusion, almost like an emergence as a new being, having this newfound light in your life, having your path lit up for you. So I think that if you're feeling confused right now, just shifting your focus to this one particular thing can really give you a new perspective and newfound optimism and good fortune. Even we have the House of Good Fortune here with the 8 of Diamonds. This card is about, it's about good fortune coming your way. Whatever you will for, whatever you wish for will come your way. However, the guide with this deck also comes with a little bit of a precaution to not be too ambitious, to not want too many things at once. I'm not saying that you should never be ambitious, ambitious. I'm just saying that this is a period of time for you to focus on one thing that you really want, and you will really excel with it with the Eight of Diamonds and the Sun card. So with the perspective card, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this, but some of you might be driven to achieve so many things at once because you feel like they are all important to you in some way or the other. However, this card is telling you to zoom out. Like perhaps you might think that this particular thing is very important to you, but in the long run it's actually not that important. A very obvious example would be a test in school if you're still a student. So sometimes people feel like each and every test is so important, but in the long run, as you look back, you find that there are important examinations and there are tests as well, but not everything is as important. Even if you flunk one subject, it's not the end of the world. So zoom out. You don't have to obsess over every little thing. Or if this is about a relationship that is not going well, you don't have to be too concerned about it. No, you never know what's going to happen in the future. You might find somebody better, or your situation might change, or the other person might change, you might change, and that conflict that you might be facing might just go away on its own. And if you are facing anxiety, if you're somebody who is very prone to anxiety, this message would really, I think it would really resonate with you, because I think that some of your anxieties you might be overthinking things. That's the deal with anxiety, where you start overthinking things, you start thinking negatively about everything, and you feel like if you're not guarded, if you are not prepared, you might face something really devastating. But this card is telling you that whatever you're anxious about might not happen. It will probably not happen. So try to take a breather, take a deep breath, and just focus on that one thing that you enjoy. I find the perspective card and the balance card very interesting, because the perspective card is about zooming out, and in the balance card we see this woman whose head is not so much in the clouds, but I feel like it's almost like the clouds are clouding her vision. If she just take a step back, move away from that position, she might see something new. I think that this, again, like group 1, it might be a period of time where you should have some self-reflection as well. Perhaps focus on your mental health. Perhaps this is a message for some of you. And that is all I have for group 2. I hope this resonated with you, and if you like this reading, please consider liking and subscribing, and come back again for more readings. Thank you so much. Hi group 3, let's look at your cards. So for tarot cards, we've got the 6 of Swords, and we've got the King of Wands, followed by the 3 of Cups. We have here the Trickster card, so it says transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior, followed by manipulating others through duplicity. We have here Blessings. This is such a beautiful card. Here we have Jump in, Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. Okay, so I drew only one of these Queen of the Moon Oracle cards for the other piles, but for this pile, these 2 cards fell out. And so we have here the Egg Moon Trust and Waning Crescent 3 Surrender. And we have here the 10 of Clubs Fortuna. Okay, so let's start with the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is about a period of transition, it's about moving on. So for some of you, it might feel like there's no end in sight. However, I do not see that with these cards. With the jump in card, very obviously, if you are hesitating about something, about trying something new, it's telling you that just go for it. It's okay if you don't see an end goal in sight, or it's okay if you feel like you don't know if you will succeed. Just jump into it. This could be about a relationship, not necessarily romantic, but it could be about a romantic relationship, or it could be about your career, it could be about anything. So just say yes to change. I think that this is a period of time for you to switch things up a little bit without worrying about things that are too far in the future for you to know. And I think that this is a very exciting pile. I think that it's telling you to just go for what you want to do. Adventure. Don't be bound to conventions. Don't be bound to things that do not serve you. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of trying something new. I mean, for one, we have the trickster card there, transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. I think you're all about being avant-garde, being experimental, doing new things. And this is a period of time for you to try new things. It's not a period of time for you to wait. It's not even a period of time for like self-reflection like the other piles, like pile 1 and pile 2. It's for you to just go for it, go for change, jump into that boat and row that boat. You know, I'm taking the imagery from the Six of Swords. It doesn't matter where you go, just go for it. It's almost like the more exciting the prospect of it seems to you, the more you should go for it. I also say that with the King of Wands. The King of Wands is also about willpower. It's about patience, it's about energy, about adventure. There's almost a sense of restlessness with the King of Wands. I feel like the thing about King of Wands is that he has to sit in his throne. He's not like the Knight of Wands. He's not traveling the lands and just with his blazing fire and just causing you everything. The King of Wands has to govern, but there's a sense of restlessness with the King of Wands. But I think that that might be what you're feeling right now. You're feeling a little bit restless, but I think the cards are telling you to just embody that Wands energy. You are a very strong-minded person. You have a lot of willpower. You have a lot of foresight and wisdom to achieve what you want to achieve, your goals. So you should embody that Wands energy, that passionate energy, fiery energy. And think about the Wands is that the Wands suit in tarot is that it always reminds me of a magic wand. You're being able to conjure up something because you feel so passionately about it, because you believe in it. And the thing with fire is that it's mutable. There's so much energy in it, there's so much potential in it. It's such an awe-inspiring force. If you channel that energy the right way, in a way that serves you, you could gain so much from it. And I think in your case, to channel the energy in a way that serves you is for you to be unconventional. It's for you to say yes to adventure, say yes to things that perhaps you've always wanted to do but is held back by conventions, by common sense, by what other people told you, and so on. This is a time for you to charge forward, to believe in yourself, to have trust in yourself, like we see in the trust card in the left hand side of the spread. The trust card is not just to trust in the divine or anything like that. It's to have faith in yourself, to trust in what you can do, to trust that you know what's best for you. I think with the Six of Swords, there might have been some people who have told you that what you want to do, who you want to date or so on has been or will be wrong for you, or you might face consequences for that. So for example, perhaps you might want to quit your job and find something new, but they're like, no, the economy is in the shitter now, it's very hard to find a new job, and because of that you're holding on to you're not saying yes to change, you're holding on to that job that you do not enjoy, the thing that you do not enjoy. The Suit of Swords can be about words as well, so some of you might have been letting those words drag you down. You might have felt like if you said yes to change, you are heading to your doom, because a more negative manifestation of the Six of Swords is the idea that you might be heading to your doom. However, this is a very exciting spread. This is a very, looking at the cards here, then we have the Blessing card, which I'll get to in a while, and the Fortuna card. I think that the change that you might be thinking about, or change that is coming to you, would be favorable to you, would be more than favorable to you. It's very exciting. However, okay, this is a message for some of you. In order to say yes to the change, in order to not let other people's words get to you, some of you might have to surrender some aspects of yourself, of your being that you do not need. So looking at the surrender card in the right corner, okay, let me show you the card. I think it's not very clear under the glare of the light. Okay, this card here, surrender, is about acknowledging acknowledging your flaws, acknowledging your imperfections, and surrendering them. So this is a time for you to acknowledge things about yourself that you might have been denying. So for example, you could have been a procrastinator, so this is a time for you to acknowledge that you procrastinated, but you will change from now on. You will perhaps let go of your need to be a perfectionist, let go of your need to know what's going to happen, whether you will achieve your goals, whether you get that 100% before you plunge right into it. Let go of the need to know. Or even let go of the things to do everything on your own, because with the Three of Cups, it's about camaraderie, it's about working together, it's about celebrations, about friendship. So this might be time for you to let go of the need to work on your own and accept help from other people, accept perhaps emotional support from other people. So some of you might have to go through that process first before you can accept change in your life. So with the Blessings card, the Fortuna card, and even the Three of Cups, I see that once you've accepted change, once you've decided to dive right into the change, to say yes to the adventure, there would be so much blessings coming to you. Your life would feel so fulfilled, feel so abundant and all. Now do note that, because, well, first of all, there are always ups and downs in life. This doesn't mean that your life would be smooth sailing from here on and you would be set for life. However, I do see that the change will bring about an uplifting of your energy, a very positive, much needed change in your life. And if this is about a career, I do see that you would have a lot of money and abundance coming in with the Three of Cups, the Blessings card, the Fortuna card. Now, with the Fortuna card, the Ten of Clubs, there, Fortuna, she can be a little bit fickle. this is a very fickle card. And I think what it means for this reading is that, like, with Fortuner and Trickster, is that your successes and fortunes might come to you during a time where you least expect it, or in very unexpected ways or forms. Or it could also be talking about maybe irregular windfalls. So for example, if you are just to give you an example, if you're looking to, say, freelance, this might mean that you might have a lot of money coming in, but it's not necessarily stable. But I do think that now it's not the time for you to be too worried about stability. Is to adventure, is to embrace the unknown, is to embrace the fickleness of Lady Luck or Fortuna there, and channel that wands energy. That's the thing about wands as well. It's fickle, but it's strong. The fiery energy. Fire can be rather fickle. It flickers, it changes. It's not stable, but it's strong. And if you feed it, it will grow into a raging inferno, for instance. With the Trickster card, I also get the sense that perhaps this would be time for you to have fun. Not to take things too seriously. Be confident in yourself. I'm not saying you should go out there and trick other people, of course not. But I think that this would be time for you to be very creative. The King of Wands as well, I think. Even the Three of Cups, I think this would be a very creative period of time for you. A King of Wands is of course about ruling, is about kings are very sure of themselves, and Wands is a very creative suit. So a King of Wands is not about ruling through intellect or wisdom or anything like that. It's about ruling through creativity, through unconventionality. I don't necessarily mean that you have to rule out over other people, or you have to be in a management position to order other people around, but it's about taking charge of your life, ruling your life with creativity. A Three of Cups. Cups is of course about creativity, and threes in tarot as well. Very creative number. And the Three of Cups is about abundance, about joy. This card always reminds me of the Muses. I'm not sure why, but it's about just having a harvest and celebrating the harvest. It's almost like saying it's okay for you to be in your own fantasy land for now, because that's where your treasures are. That's where you will feel most fulfilled, and that's where blessings will come to you. With the blessing card, again, of course, this card is telling you that whatever you do, blessings will be coming your way. This is a very exciting pile. I'm so happy for you. There's just so much happiness and abundance in the Three of Cups, and it's also about the sharing of happiness. So you might be able to share your happiness with someone else, or with some other people. I think that you would have a very fulfilling career and relationships coming to you. And that's all I have for this group. I hope this resonated with you. I hope you like this reading. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I really hope to see you again. Goodbye. Hi group 4, let's look at your cards. So first up we have the Moon. Next we have the Fountain card. Okay, this is an additional card that came with this deck. I'm using the Fountain Tarot, and I'll get to the meaning of this card in a little while. Okay, so I only picked out 2 cards for the other piles, but because the second card in this pile is from an additional card, I thought it might be good for me to pick another card. So here we have the Page of Swords. And from the Tarot of the Divine, we have the Ace of Swords. Here we have the long night moon darkness. Here we have the companion card, so it says loyalty, tenacity and unselfishness, followed by betrayal, by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. And we've got the wisdom card, followed by child of the cosmos, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. And finally, the 10 of hearts, Allegra. Okay, so let's start with the moon and the long night moon darkness card. I think that some of you might be feeling very, very confused right now. So the shadow, the hidden aspects of yourself might be manifesting in in ways that do not serve you. With the darkness card, the long night moon, I see that this is a period of time for you to do some shadow work, to identify the parts of yourself that no longer serves you. I feel like you might not even know it yet. You might not even sense that something is not working for you, but this is advice to tell you. Or you might sense that something is not working for you, but you just cannot pinpoint the exact source. I feel like the moon card is about intuition, but I think can also be about intuition, but I think in this case it feels like your intuition and anxiety is getting all mixed up together. Intuition and logic and the mind is getting all mixed up together. You don't know which is which. No, it's time for you to do some shadow work, to really look into your being. So for some of you, it could include meditation or things like that, to really try to and find out what is not working for you. Some of you might consider going for therapy. I don't know. Don't be excessively worried about this. I know it may seem ominous, but this is honestly a good sign for you, because you are identifying what you do not need, and I do see that you would experience a breakthrough. So let's the darkness card. Okay, let me show you what is written in the guide. So, you are entering a time of introversion, a leaner time, or a time to turn inward to plan and strategize. It is time to do shadow work, which will bring big dividends later on. Yes, that's the thing. It will bring big dividends later on. So, I do see that you might be feeling a little bit lost now, or you might be feeling very lost now, but things will be looking up very soon. And there's one part here, where is it? Let me see. Alright, it's right there. In reality, the dark is as important as the light. So for you to grow as a person, to be truer to who you are as a person, this is a much needed time for you to confront the things that do not serve you. Confront destructive behaviors. Identify destructive behaviors. Stop denying them. Stop don't try to take a shortcut and try to push them away, try to hide them, try to push them down. Confront them, identify exactly what it is that do not serve you, and work out how you need to overcome it. I see that for some of you, with the companion card, for some of you it might be to seek help from a companion. This could be a friend, a family member, or from a romantic partner. And I think for some of you it might involve getting more in touch with your emotions. So if you look at the 10 of Hearts, Allegra, right in the center, this card is about Allegra is somebody who who is a little bit naive. She might be a little bit emotionally immature. You see that? I think she's blindfolded. Is she blindfolded? Let's look at it. Right, she's blindfolded. She's a little bit in her own head. She's not looking at what's around her. She's not looking at where she's going because she has so much faith. She's an idealist. She's a dreamer. For some of you, it might be to just have faith, be that idealist, that dreamer, to get in touch with your emotions. Stop denying your emotions. You have to do that in order to move forward, in order to gain mental clarity. Clarity is such a big message in this pile. So how do we get to the state of clarity? How do we have wisdom? Let's look at the Fountain card. So, okay, it says here, the fountain exists outside and beyond the cycles of birth, death, time, and form. It is nameless, changeless, source of which everything is a part. Well, when the fountain appears in your reading, relinquish all illusion of control and remain quiet. It invites you to observe, master less, and to just be effortless and indistinguishable from life. I think connecting that with the Allegra card, the Ten of Hearts, I don't think it's necessarily about observing other people, observing the world around you, but perhaps just observing your own emotions. Why is it that you react a certain way to something? Why is it that you feel triggered about something? Why do you feel this way about something? Do you really feel this way about something? It's time to ask yourself those questions. It's time to do some soul searching, to explore your mind. I see that with the Page of Swords as well. The pages bring about this youthful energy, but Swords is about wisdom, mental energy. And to me, I think the Page of Swords in this instance talks about trying to find your inner wisdom, trying to explore your own psyche in order to have mental clarity, as seen in the Ace of Swords. So this is all about gaining mental clarity to break through the fog, the mystery, the illusions, that the fears that you feel under the Moon card. Know that you are armed with mental clarity and wisdom. We have the Wisdom card here to break through the darkness. Wisdom appears in the Child of the Cosmos card as well. The intelligence of the universe lies within you. So if you look at the guide here, you're being called to remember the intelligence that's within each and every one of yourselves. To remember that you're a precious child of a loving, gentle universe, that you have access to all the intelligence, wisdom, strength, flow, and qualities that ever were, are, or will be. And to remember that if flowers know exactly when and how to bloom, then you do too. So some of you might be feeling very anxious about something, feeling very anxious about the future. This card is to let you know that you have the wisdom to do what you want. You have to gain mental clarity. First of all, you need to identify the parts of yourself that you do not eat and cut through that confusion. So the Page of Swords can also be about detachment. If you look at the conventional Rider-Waite depiction, you see that you have the page there holding a sword and looking into a distance. It's almost as if he's looking at someone else from a distance and being detached, holding on to his own wisdom, to his own thoughts, without engaging in other people. Because we have the Companion card here, I don't think that this is telling you to shut other people off and not be engaged with other people. But I think that some of you might be a little bit caught up in other people's problems. So I think this card is telling you to just, you can be there for them, you can be a companion for them, but try to maintain a sense of a distance from between you and other people in order to feel well, in order not to protect yourself from being drained by other people. There's a shadow side of a Libra as well, because she's so in touch with her own emotions. It might be very easy for her to get hurt. This is a time for you to protect yourself. Maybe to examine how it is that you interact, how it is that you relate to other people, and find a new way for you to find balance between your own emotions and other people's emotions, your own point of view and other people's point of view. I don't, like I said, there's a companion card here as well, so I don't think this is a time for you to block them off. It might be time for you to let your voice be heard, let your thoughts be heard, to find help for yourself, to talk to other people, but at the same time not to worry too much about what they say. So for example, if you tell someone else about what you're feeling anxious about, but you feel like they just don't understand it, just let it go. The point is it's not about getting advice from other people, but is to just voice out your own concerns, to hear yourself say those things, and to re-examine how it is that you connect with other people in order to have that mental breakthrough, to have that mental clarity. And think about one last thing with the wisdom card and the moon card. So in the moon card, we see the image of a sea, an ocean, a body of water, and the moon reflected on that body of water. Whereas in this wisdom card, we see water as well, but we are underwater. We see that there's a whole world underwater. It's not just the illusion, the reflection of the moon on the surface. There's a lot more underwater. There's a lot more wisdom underneath. So this is time for you to look into yourself. Perhaps reevaluate what it is you are searching for in life, what you are seeking, and try to find a new perspective, gain a deeper wisdom. If this is about a relationship for you, it could be that the cards could be telling you to look beyond the surface. Perhaps look beyond what somebody else is telling you, and try to try to understand them a little bit more, because through understanding people, we perhaps learn more about ourselves as well. Through examining how it is we relate to other people, we learn more about ourselves as well. Perhaps then we will be ready to open our hearts a little bit more to accept change. With Fountain card as well, this is a time for you to observe, to accept things that are to look into things a little bit more before you can gain mental clarity, before you can move into the light, get past the moon and move into the next stage in your life. In tarot, the sun card comes after the moon card. So after this difficult period in your life, there will be a renewal, a lifting of your energy, almost like you're born again. And in order for you to feel that way, to feel renewed, I think that you need to open your heart, to get in touch with your own emotions, to look into what it is that no longer serves you, to confront what it is that no longer serves you. Accept it. Accept that you have these traits in you, and try your best to let it go. Try your best to change a little at a time. Know that you have the power to change. Know that you have the wisdom inside of you. And that is all I have for this group. I hope this resonated with you. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I really hope to see you again. Please come back for more readings. Thank you.